Hey guys, Brian delivers you the goods here. Sorry that my voice is a little cracking right now. Just waking up right now. But I'm returning to you this late morning, going into afternoon time for Dorothy's new record, The Way, that I got a chance to listen to for myself. See what I was going to think of this album overall. I'm sorry that I didn't get around to doing this review anytime sooner. It's just, I had other reviews I was getting to and stuff I wanted to do. But I will be continuously uh, doing more reviews pretty soon. It's just I've been busy with work too, so it's been quite a weekend for me for sure. So going into a new week, so I'm gonna discuss what I listened to for the 10 songs on Dorothy's The Way album, which is a 37-minute record, and let you know my thoughts on this record overall. So let's dive into this album review. Sorry, I'm petting my cat right now, Titan. He's just wanting attention. Right, Titan. So, yeah, I guess he's not meowing. It's fine. But still, I Come Alive is the first song. Pretty good song for sure. Dorothy's vocals are pretty strong in this. Sorry about the dinging noise. It is a notification about something. So, it's from an email. But other than that, Dorothy's I Come Alive song, the first track, she has these really good range vocals, where she hits a good range with her vocal tone in this track, and it sounds really good. She like hits one high to another high to an extreme high, so I really dig that aspect about this track. And then the song starts playing around a minute and some seconds, so it's a pretty good song, but it does rely on her vocal range to excessively continue with the track. Not terrible in any way, it's still pretty good, but I just don't think it's one of my favorite songs. So 4.75 out of 5. The Devil I Know, pretty good song too in its own way. Don't hate this one. So I'd give this a 4.75 out of 5. It has some good drum work and guitar work. And it does talk about religion a bit in this track. And that's where I'm like, okay, it's fine. I'm like, it's not something I would definitely want to listen to a lot, but I know they're kind of a band that wanted to be a little more spiritual and lean towards God in this record, and that's not a bad way to look at things, but still, I have a few critiques with some of this song, so 4.75 out of 5. Mud is a pretty strong track. I really enjoyed this one. This is a 5 out of 5 for sure. Really enjoyed Dorothy's vocals. Sounded really good. And Dorothy is the band, but also it's the lead singer too. Lead singer's name is Dorothy, but other than that, I think this was a strong release for sure. Well, strong track for sure. I meant to say there's some things I'll be saying towards the end of the review that'll might be good in a way, but have some criticism. So 5 out of 5. Tombstone Town is a pretty good song in its own way. It's pretty catchy, I'll tell you that. But it does have a southern rock kind of style, and I don't know if I dig that, but it's not terrible. At least it performed very well. I will say she does have some screaming vocals in certain parts in some songs. Dorothy does, and it does sound really strong. So this is a 4.75 out of 5 for Tombstone Town. Bones is a good song, not one of my favorite ones, but it does alright for what it goes for. It's a 4.5 out of 5 for me for this one. I don't know, I'm just not digging the whole chorus too much. It's not terrible, but it's not the best chorus I've heard. But it's fine to progress through the record. So 5 out of 4.5 out of 5. I had to recorrect myself there. Sorry. Like I said, I'm still waking up, so I had to do a morning shift yesterday, and I was so drained. But other than that, 4.5 out of 5. Unholy Water is a good song too in its own way. It does bring up religious stuff, and that's fine. It just talks about God and all that, and that is fine. I have no issue with that. I myself am spiritual, but I'm not religious in a way. But that's just how I go about things. Uh, but still, Unholy Water is a 4.5 out of 5. I don't hate this song, I just have a few critiques with how it sounds some of the time. Haunted House is a good song too in its own way. Not one of my favorites, but it's a good track to progress through the record, to the ending to the record. So 4.5 out of 5. Putting Out the Fire, good song too. Dorothy's vocals sound alright in this track, and just the mixing and execution is kind of where it's a little hit or miss, where it has its good points and its somewhat bad points. So this is a 4.5 out of 5 for me. Superhuman does bring up more religious stuff, and that's fine. It's just I don't know. I kind of, when I look at some religious songs, it's fine and all, but it's just if you overdo it too much and over excessively talk about it too much, then there's some critiques I'm gonna have with that. Where it's like, okay, can you just make a regular song? So I'm not trying to be a dick or anything. It's just that's how I view things and how my mindset is when it comes to this stuff. So overall, I think Dorothy's vocals were strong, and just execution wise, it did good in its own way. 4.5 out of 5. And finally, The Way is the closing track, and it's a strong closing track. It's a pretty good one. To close out the record, it sounded pretty nice for the most part, and Dorothy's vocal range was pretty strong in this, so 4.75 out of 5. It does have some good, meaningful lyrics that I could really get on board with, so good track. So overall, production, mixing, and execution-wise, do I think Dorothy the Way album is worth listening to? I mean, it's not bad, but it's not one of my favorite records of 2025. But it's an average record. It's not bad in its own way. It just, there's some things where it brings up religious stuff that I just don't know if I can catch, like, get on board with. It just, I don't know, I might sound like a little bit of a unreligious piece of crap with how I'm saying it, but it's not that I'm meaning to, it's just I have some well, critiques with some of this record with how it brings the topics up a bit too much, and it's fine if you want to do that, but then it becomes over excessive if you want to talk about it more and more and more. And it's like, okay, we get the message now. I know that's what you want to put out for a record, but it's just an average record. It's not a bad listen, it's just there's some mixing and execution flaws with some tracks, like from Bones all the way to Superhuman. Those are the ones that kind of disappointed me a little, but not to the extent where I hated them. But everything else was alright and pretty strong in its own way. So if I were to give Dorothy the Way a score, I'm going to give it a average 7.5 out of 10. Average record. It's not bad. I wouldn't say go into this with a bad mindset. I would just say basically, like, listen for yourself, see what you think of it, and just basically, if you do like this kind of record, more power to you. I myself do like it to an extent, but there are some critiques I have with it. So yeah, if some people get on me for saying, "Oh, you're disrespecting religious stuff," it's like, I'm not. I'm just pointing out some critiques about it that I have with it. I don't necessarily hate God or anything. I just have some opinions about it, and I always question things sometimes. So I always like try to uh, be in the middle when it comes to religion. So I'm spiritual, but I'm kind of neutral in the religion thing, and it doesn't help all the time, but there are some occasions where it does. But 7.5 out of 10 for Dorothy the Way. I hope you enjoyed this album review this morning, going into early afternoon. I did the best I could to make this review as good as possible. I mean, I said a few things that I know might seem controversial to some viewers and all that, but hey, I'll respect your religious beliefs if you respect mine. It's a feelings mutual. It's just a two-way street, basically. We gotta meet halfway in a way where we agree on something to disagree or whatever. It's an agree to disagree kind of topic. So, with me. But other than that, 7.5 out of 10 for Dorothy the Way. I'm kind of jibber jabbing a little too much, so I'm going to end this video. And with that being said, thanks for watching this review today.